I think that in the camera game in 2025, the biggest allure that's always dangling in front of our face is technology. And there really is so much technology that continues to come out every month, if not every couple of weeks. With AI coming now and taking over and giving us perfect control of our camera, where in fact our camera is literally in control of us. And every lens is getting better and better at optimizing focus and focus pull and minimizing focus breathing. And all of this is just wiping away what makes videography and even photography challenging. And as a bodybuilding and addiction recovery coach for over 27 years, those that become champions, I've been coaching champions for 27 years. I don't remember a client that I've had that did not place first, did not win a title or even a championship. And with addiction recovery, it's either you recover, you become sober, or you continue to relapse over and over and over until you're ready. And so it's the challenges that happen along the way, just like with muscle growth. It's the more we rip up the muscle, the more we tear it and break it down, the stronger it becomes. The more it grows, the stronger and more firm the foundation becomes. And it's the same with our knowledge and even our creative level. When everything is done for us, we don't even get to become more creative. That takes away the creative process from us of growing, of learning, of becoming the artist. And early on in my life, I'd say around 7 or 8 years old, my mother put me into private art lessons. And I then actually became very immersed in it. I was ADHD. I was raised by a single mother. I was raised in Trenton, New Jersey in the ghetto. I had a lot of inner turmoil. I got in lots of fights in school, and I was kept back in the 3rd grade. And I had a lot of angst. But I always used that anger and that angst to go help and protect others. Fortunately, I had an adopted father that coached me. He was a progressive fighting systems instructor. So I've been instructed in progressive fighting systems since the age of 8. 3rd grade, when I got jumped for the first time by 3 other kids. And within a year, I was the fastest, not necessarily the strongest, but there wasn't anyone from that point on who ever beat me up, except for one group of guys that overcame me with knives and brass knuckles and additional weapons. But I digress. The point is, all of this growth, all of this push and tension is what creates an artist. When I first picked up a paintbrush at 8 years old in private lessons, I was the worst one in the class because I was the new one. I'd never done any of it before. First time the teacher said, "All right, everyone sketch this bowl of fruit here in the center of the room," I got angry because I couldn't do it. But then within a year of honing in on my skills and using different mediums for art and becoming a creative. Because personally, I think that before we become an artist, we become a creative. And there has to be this journey that takes us from the present us to the point of being a creative. And then an even harder and further and longer and more strenuous journey to then becoming an artist. And when everything is done for us, do we ever really become that creative and that artist? Or did our equipment and our camera gear and technology do it for us? Additionally, I'm a father of 6. I have 4 boys and I have 2 daughters. And watching them learn and grow and being able to teach them and impart lessons that they can implement into becoming what they want to become and who they want to become, what they want to do, but teaching them to seek out a passion and a purpose that takes time, that takes growth, that takes work. And if something or someone else is doing the work for us, are we actually accomplishing anything? Or are we just kind of along for the ride? Now, I've never had AI focusing. I haven't gotten to that point. The most technologically advanced camera equipment that I have is my Sigma FP, my Canon C200s, and the cinema cameras. I have an R8, but I don't even use it, and will probably be getting rid of it because it just doesn't do what I need it to do. I've had all the Fuji films. I have an X-T1, 2. I got rid of my 3. I just sold my XH1, which, by the way, the XH1 is a brilliant camera for anyone wanting a beautiful hybrid. I did love and really work hard my EOS R. That was a fantastic camera. And eventually I may try either an R5 II or an R5C. But that'll be down the road after I get back to relearning everything that I didn't learn on this GH5. Because I don't want to go any further in my journey until I've already mastered what I have yet to master. And when I got rid of my GH4 to get the GH5, I jumped ship. I got rid of my GH5 and went to the EOS R and the Sony a7 III. And both of those were beautiful cameras, neither of which I felt took away the creativity or the work or the art from within me. In fact, I felt like both the EOS R and the a7 III added to my creativity. But I love seeing so many artists out there making gorgeous work with old cameras and vintage lenses. And for me, it really does allow me as the viewer feel more connected to their piece or to their project. And also relating this to kids, when we have something that is doing the work for us, there's always something or someone else to blame when things don't go right. Well, the camera effed up on this, or the camera effed up on that. But when we don't have that person or that thing in front of us to blame, we're forced to realize, well, that screw up was us. I messed up. I missed focus. I missed the shot. I forgot to press record. I messed up my audio levels. It's on us. And I think that every budding creative needs to go through that process for a certain length of time, and that could be different for everyone. To go through all of those, it's on me, it's on me, it's on me. How do I fix it? Let me fix it. Let me learn to fix it. Then it's fixed. Moving on, going through that again, moving on. Now all of a sudden a year has passed in our creative journey, and there haven't been any mess-ups, although we always have them to a certain degree. But then we can say, maybe now I'm ready to move on, or maybe now I need something more advanced. Maybe today is just me rambling because it's my 46th birthday and now I'm closer to 50 than I've ever been. But I've lived a very full life. I've been through quite a lot. Much more than people out there on the other side of this camera are even aware of. Much of which, in some degrees, are things that people wouldn't even understand. Because of where I came from and the work that I've done and what I've been through. But becoming an artist is about the process and the journey. And if you take away the trials and the challenges, is there really ever a process and a journey? And likening this onto bodybuilding. Nowadays in 2025, I see so many young kids, even 14, 15, 16, 17, never lifting a weight in their life. Jumping right onto anabolics. I've had other videos deleted on one of our other channels because of using that word, but there's this new wave of young kids just jumping on gear and then starting their journey. And I don't even want to call it bodybuilding, because that's not bodybuilding. That's not what bodybuilding is about. Bodybuilding is also about the challenges, learning your body, forcing new growth, learning everything that you can, absorbing everything you can. But they're not doing any of that. And they're actually cheating themselves because they're taking everything away from their natural potential that they'll never get back. Once you start on a certain direction, in some ways, like with bodybuilding, you never get to just go back to where you could have been. Because that won't be there when you go back. You lost it, and you never get it back again. You don't get a chance to gain those newbie gains. That first 25, 30 pounds of muscle in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, because your body's never trained, never worked, never pushed before. If you jumped right in on anabolics right from the start, you don't get to go back to those newbie gains. They're not there anymore. You cheated yourself. So maybe all of these new technological advances within camera gear and lenses and AI assistance, all of this, maybe in the end we're cheating ourselves out of the process of growth that's necessary to become a creative and then an artist. Maybe that's just the new world that we live in now in 2025.